Note-taking is a vital skill that you're going to need in order to excel in school. It's one of those things that you're just expected to know how to do, but nobody actually sits down and teaches you. Today we're going to discuss different types of note-taking so you can decide which is best for you. By the way, hi, I'm Terrell, and this is Absolutely Studying. I bootstrapped my way through university while juggling a full-time job and a family. It was tough, but I want to pay it forward. I want to supply you with all of the resources and support you need to flourish in your academic career. Today, we're going to break down and describe different types of note-taking along with some of the strengths and weaknesses of each. Let me know in the description below how you take your notes. The first and most standard method is the outline method. The outline method is pretty standard. It's where you keep notes point form in chronological order from lecture. Higher concepts are elaborated on and broken down into finer details. This is usually the most comfortable method to fall back on. This is how most people learn how to take notes. It's just a standard Word document list, and it can often be used in conjunction with other types of note-taking methods. The Cornell Method is where your page is divided into three distinct portions. You have your notes section, you have your cues section, and then you have your summary section. Your notes can be filled out in any way. You can use the outline method or any other method to capture the information. Cues is where you put your most important information, so any kind of terminology or vocabulary, any important theories or hypotheses or dates, those are all kept in the cues to remember while you're studying. And finally, the summary is done later on. When you're at home in the evening, as you go through your notes, you can summarize each page and each concept in the summary section and write it down briefly and in your own words. This is the best for recalling and summarizing directly after lecture. The notes area is very versatile and you can use any note-taking strategy, so that's a really great strength of this way, and it's easy to see important concepts on the cues area. Another note-taking method that is really useful is the mapping method. This is where you take your notes in a mind map. When you're taking notes in this method, it's great for a visual flow. This is perfect for capturing a series or sequence of event, or even a process that has to be followed. This is a good method for visual learners because you can sit down and visually see how things are connected spatially. Sometimes the fine details and elaborations can be missed because of the cramped nature and space that you are writing in. It's hard to show high-level concepts in relation to each other on a single page without getting cramped or running out of space, and spilling over into additional pages can get lost or muddied along the way. You often don't have the luxury of a large space that you can spread out over when you're doing this method in a lecture. However, translating notes after lecture into this method might be a good way to review the information. Next is the chart method, and this is basically creating a table or a chart and plotting a concept and breaking down all of the fine details in relation to other similar concepts. This is also really difficult to do in lecture because you might not have a head-to-head explanation between similar concepts. So this is also something that's often best done as revision afterwards. Using charts, you can compare what's similar and what's different with related concepts. And so it helps you to really understand how there are similarities and differences between them. The sentence method is often confused with the outline method. The sentence method is jotting down and transcribing in your own words the concepts in class. This really is a higher level note-taking way because it does cover the main concepts and breaks them down into simplified sentences. The subtleties between this and the outline method are really very similar and often mistaken for each other, so I don't want to dive too deeply into this one because it's basically just a simplified version or a textualized version of the outline method, and they could often be interchangeable. Finally, A common method is adding notes to slides. Often, a lot of professors will give out their slides before class or sometimes even after class so that students can preserve them in their notes and just add their own notes to them. This is very dangerous because you don't want to rely on the slides too much and forget to take your own notes. Don't allow the slide portion of the notes to be a crutch. Don't allow yourself to wander off focus because you already have so much of the material in front of you. It's both a blessing and a curse. Make sure to create as many mental associations as possible by adding notes to the slides. Use the outline method or the mind mapping method or anything that helps you to immortalize the lecture material in the slides. It's also really helpful if you take your notes from the outline method and just keep the slides aside to immortalize and reference back and pull a little bit extra information in your revision session afterwards. If you are looking for reasons to leave room in those lecture notes to immortalize more information later, I have a whole video of 10 things to add to your lecture notes. I will link the video above and the full article below in the description so you can add to and expand your lecture notes in upcoming study sessions. If you are looking for new ways to study and take in information, try out my free study planner. It has more than 20 different study activities that you can cycle through over the entire semester. There's a Q&A planner, a confidence tracker to make sure that you know every single concept. It's jam-packed with useful resources. It's in the description below. Grab it, it's free, and I think it'll really help. While you are down there, I would love for you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every Thursday, and it is always about study tips, organizational hacks, and homework help to help you through the study struggle. And you can also visit my website. It has a ton of free resources and useful articles. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing adventure.